Okay, hello once again, everybody, and welcome back in to another episode of the Regular Guys DFS Daily Fantasy Show. I am David. Welcome to the dungeon once again, and we're going to take a look at today's 7-game slate and see if we can get to a pick six today that can make us all here a little bit of money. I apologize, I wasn't able to put out a video yesterday. I had too much stuff going on. Some of you can relate to this. My daughter is graduating high school this year, so I had all kinds of appointments and things kind of came up yesterday. If you know anything about planning your graduation, I barely got home in time to put in a DFS lineup last night. Last night was absolutely crazy. I scored 346 points in the main GPP tournaments that I played in and lost by almost 100. 429 points, I think it was, took down the two main GPPs I was playing in last night. I don't think I've ever seen a DraftKings contest score that many fantasy points. You had to have Russell Westbrook, of course, and just a lot of guys went off last night, so it was absolutely crazy. You really couldn't afford to miss in any spot. I didn't even cash. So that's our pick six yesterday. Probably wouldn't have made anybody a whole bunch of money anyway. So let's see if we can do a little bit better today, get back on track. I am excited about today's pick six for a couple of reasons. I think I'm going to try and change up the format a little bit, guys. Instead of just giving us, here's 6 guys to play. I want to give you guys a lot of different alternatives, if possible, because, things just change throughout the day with daily fantasy. I mean, we're waiting on injury news pretty much up until lock, and there's so many different ways you can pivot. Once certain injury news comes out, like as of right now, we don't have any information on Toronto tonight, but I mean, they've been resting guys, so who knows if 15 minutes before lock, we're not going to, get some kind of news from Toronto or later this afternoon. So anyway, we're going to go to a regular pick six, but I just want you to realize there's going to be lots of different ways and lots of maybe different guys to consider as we get throughout the afternoon. So let's go ahead and get started here on today's pick six, and I'm just gonna keep using the free square, guys. I don't need to sit here and explain to you and go into a long diatribe about why you should probably play Russell Westbrook tonight. Last night is a great example. It took 429 points, like I said, in one of the GPPs I played in, and Russell Westbrook went off for 80. And if you didn't have Russ's 80, you weren't going to score 429. So I understand he's very high owned. He's very popular. And we do try to look for ways to pivot and get different here, but I'm not pivoting off a guy that can give me 80 points. So I'm just going to put him in. He's a free square. I'm going to keep playing him until his salary gets up to a point where you just really can't afford to play. I'd play him if he was 13K. Because I'm not going to miss out on the chance that he comes back-to-back and puts up another 80 fantasy points. So sure, you can go to some other guys if you want and bet against Russ and say, well, tonight I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to put together the triple-double. I'm not willing to take that risk. I'm just going to play him and move on. So we do have some other interesting options here for today's pick six. We're going to look at this Charlotte-Chicago game. I have a lot of interest in this game tonight. There's a lot of different ways you can go. Chicago's a great team to target anyway because they do play fast-paced. With or without Vucevic, they don't play much defense. LaMelo Ball is a guy that's probably a good play tonight, certainly someone to consider. He was very popular on the last slate, and for very good reason. His price tag still isn't high enough. If you remember back before LaMelo got injured, I mean, he was up around 8,600, 8,800, and we're getting him now. What is he still, like 70? He's 7,900, just under 8K. He's a very good play tonight for that price point. But I'm not going to put him in today's pick six. Just understand, certainly he's a good play. I think he's probably going to be pretty popular again tonight. However, especially after the performances that he's been putting up the last couple of games. One of the things that scares me about him just a little bit is we still haven't seen him play that 30 to 35 minutes yet. He's still producing, but we still haven't seen him get back to full on starter minutes yet, even though he is starting. So it's something to keep an eye on to see if his minutes do continue to increase. But instead, I am going to go to Charlotte because of their injuries. Here's a guy to keep an eye on too. Malik Monk is certainly a guy that he didn't play as much last game because he shot horribly. I don't think he made a single field goal in the game. I don't think we can probably expect that to continue tonight. I imagine he'll bounce back a little bit. But in shooting guard position for today's pick six, I'm going to go back to Caleb Martin. We'll just check his game log here real quick. He started last game and played 34 minutes, 32 fantasy points. I don't see any reason why he won't get those kind of minutes again tonight. 34, 35, 36 minutes. And he's a pretty productive guy when he plays, as you can see from last night. So as long as he continues to be in the starting lineup and play those kind of minutes, he can certainly pay off this price point at $3,900. So I really do like him quite a bit tonight. And again, there's going to be some other plays from Charlotte as we move along here that I like as well. Now, I don't know exactly how popular the next part of our pick six is going to be tonight, but I am going to go ahead and put Luka Doncic in this pick six. I mean, one reason is Luka having small forward eligibility on DraftKings helps out a ton. I don't know. I don't play on FanDuel. I've peeked around on Yahoo. I don't know if he's small forward eligible on those sites, but just as far as roster construction and building a lineup, it's very helpful to be able to use Luka as a small forward. It's a fabulous matchup against Brooklyn. You're going to see Brooklyn guys be very popular tonight. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're not good plays. If you want to look at a guy like Kevin Durant, he can certainly go off tonight. Kyrie Irving had a big game last game. They're fabulous plays too. I'm trying to get a little bit different in these GPPs. I don't know how high owned Luka's going to be. Luka doesn't have as high of a floor as maybe somebody like Durant does, but we know his ceiling is there. And in a great matchup here against Brooklyn, I'm going to go ahead and take a swing and jam Luka into this lineup, and probably not go with a Durant or an Irving in this pick six. But again, those guys, it's not like those guys are bad options. We're going to try and get a little bit different today with today's pick six. So the next guy we're going to look at, these next two plays are a little bit of a wild card play. We're going to look at Dallas. Maxi Kleber, I believe, is already Porzingis is out and Kleber is out. So I'm going to target for a value center today. I'm going to target the Dallas guys. Now, Willie Cauley-Stein started last game, but Dwight Powell ended up playing more minutes than Cauley-Stein did. And Powell just frankly has been the more productive player. So even if Powell doesn't start tonight, Boban really hasn't been that much in the rotation. There is a little bit of concern that they're going to rotate with three guys, Boban, Willie Cauley-Stein, and Powell. But at least the last couple of games, Powell's gotten the most minutes. He's been the most productive player of the three. So we're going to need some value to jam a few studs in here today. So I have no problem going to Dwight Powell. Hopefully he'll get, between 25 and 30 minutes. Last game, he played 29 minutes, scored 34 fantasy points. If you look back against Sacramento, he only played 20 minutes, but did score 30 fantasy points. So he's been playing pretty well. He's been very productive. So we're going to put him in as part of the pick six today. Now, the next guy's a real wild card, guys. And I understand if you want to look at a guy like Davis Bertans, he is probably going to start today. He's probably going to continue to come off the bench today. With Rui being ruled out, as you notice, he's still playing upwards, 25 to 30 minutes. The thing with Bertans is he has to shoot well. He just isn't a great productive player, but he's a safer play today. So If you want to, maybe sub out the next guy I'm going to give you for Davis Bertans, I understand it with Rui being out. He should get upwards of 30 minutes again. And it's just kind of a crapshoot with him about how productive he's going to be, but he probably is maybe the safer play. But here's a guy I'm going to look at, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not terribly comfortable rostering OKC guys generally anymore. We've seen them lose by 57 points to Utah. They're obviously not trying. They're running a lot of different guys out into their rotations. We've got guys going, 8, 9, 10, 12 deep sometimes in the rotations. But there is a guy that I've kept an eye on a little bit, and I think he's a bit of a wild card play, but he could pay off. I'm going to give you Gabriel Deck tonight. Now, here's the concern with Deck. His minutes, 24, 19, and then 16 minutes off the bench. I think he's going to continue to get more minutes because he's been very productive with the minutes he's been given. And it looks like they're going to turn to these younger guys to see what they've got for the rest of the season for OKC. So I'm thinking hopefully he's even blowout proof. But if you notice, in 16 minutes, 26 fantasy points. 19 minutes, 25 fantasy points. 24 minutes, 25 fantasy points. He's very productive when he's on the floor. If we could get that 24 to 25 minutes out of Deck tonight, he could pop off for 30, 32, 35 fantasy points, and that would certainly be good enough to pay off his price point. 7X is about what? 21, 22 points. Obviously, we're going to hope for more than that. But again, he's not going to be a popular guy tonight. I think Bertans will be a little more popular. And if he does get the minutes and if he does produce like he has been producing, then he's a nice way to get a little bit different as far as a value play. So the last guy that we're going to look at today is definitely a guy that will get us different. One of the reasons I didn't score more points last night was because I pivoted a little bit. I tried to get different, and I played J-Val from Memphis last night, and he was awful. He just stunk. But a guy that wasn't awful from Memphis, after having a game before that where he was awful, I'm going to look at Ja Morant today, guys, in a great matchup against Detroit. They're basically sitting all their good players. They're going young, and now we just got word that Corey Joseph is questionable, and I can't remember who they all put out here, but they're very thin. It's a great matchup for Memphis. Obviously, there's blowout potential here because Detroit pretty much has quit trying as well. But Ja's coming off of a game after having a stinker where he scored 63 fantasy points in 37 minutes. Ja's minutes have been there. He's playing big minutes. He's playing upwards now. You see the last two games, close to 40 minutes. This was his stinker where he only scored 8 points. Look, his floor is fairly low, but his ceiling can be pretty high. As you see, 37 points and 63 DK fantasy points in his last game. One of the reasons I'm liking him tonight is simply because we're going to see a lot of guys playing Steph. We're going to see a lot of guys playing Kyrie. We're going to see a lot of guys playing Durant. So I think he's a guy that, hopefully he comes back with another strong game like he had last game. Again, it's a great matchup. Detroit's running out of guards. So he has the potential to have a big game tonight, and certainly I don't believe, is going to have very high ownership at all. And again, that's one of the keys that we're looking at here to just try and get a little bit different to make ourselves stand out in the GPPs. So a couple other guys I want to consider or let you guys know about because I'm considering them as well. You see where we're at here with our average remaining salary. Look at a guy like Jalen McDaniels tonight, going back to Charlotte. He's been playing big minutes. Now, he's kind of a wild card, 39 minutes last game, 36, 27 minutes. But he should continue to play pretty big minutes, guys. And he's about a fantasy point per minute player. So he's a guy you can consider tonight for a little bit of value at 5,100, who I like a lot. And then you can look at Sekou Doumbouya from Detroit. I think he's 3,500. He's another value guy who had a big game last game. I don't know if we can, totally count on Sekou putting up, what was it? Yeah, 35 fantasy points in 34 minutes. He's definitely a wild card. But again, he's one of the guys from Detroit that's getting minutes, and no Plumlee now. I don't know if Bay's playing tonight. Maybe Sadiq Bey is playing tonight. I'm not sure, but he has been getting some minutes off the bench. He started last game. We'll see if he starts tonight. But just keep an eye on Detroit's starting lineup. Certainly another guy that you can consider tonight. So Terry Rozier, that's the other guy I wanted to mention. Yeah, sorry, lost my train of thought. Again, I think LaMelo is going to be very popular tonight. And if you want to pivot off of him, again, it's a great matchup against Chicago. I don't mind targeting Charlotte guys at all tonight. In fact, I think it's a smart move to target them against Chicago. And I don't think Rozier will have near as high of ownership tonight as a guy like LaMelo Ball. So for our pick six today, we'll make it official. Russell Westbrook, Caleb Martin, Luka Doncic, Dwight Powell, Ja Morant, and we're going to take a real flyer here on Gabriel Deck. So that'll do it for today's pick six. I forgot to mention it before, guys. Please, if you'll hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a bunch. I really do appreciate it. If you're getting anything out of this content, you want us to continue to put out more videos, I really do appreciate it. If you please, before you leave, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, the little notification bell. Leave a comment down below if you like. Love to get your constructive criticism, some feedback. Maybe some guys that you're thinking about playing tonight. Hey, we're all in the same boat here. That's why I'm putting out these videos to help us regular guys compete with these professional players and see if we can get a little piece of the fantasy pie ourselves. So I'm on Twitter at SandoDFS. Give me a follow there. I like to put out some stuff throughout the day as injury news comes through, maybe some things to pivot off of, or maybe some different guys to look to. So give me a follow there. All that information, again, is down below in the comment section down there. So like, subscribe, notification bell, follow, and hopefully let's bounce back a little bit tonight. I don't think we'll have to score 429 points, and see if we can take down a little bit of this money tonight. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good luck to all of us tonight.